nice.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Maegical Healing the World podcast. My name is David Staub, here with my lovely wife, Miss Megan.
Hey y'all.
And we are so excited to introduce Crystal Chui to our entire community. My wife connected with her. We've been kind of drawn to Kambo, and from what I understand, I mean, you've experienced some profound healing from it, and now you're starting to work with it and actually use your experience to help other people heal. Kind of a little summarization. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me. I love Kambo, so yeah, it's only natural that I share it with others.
That's awesome. I know. How did you come across? I guess it was just a thread? Or?
Yeah, on Facebook, and I saw her comment and started talking because we have a lot of similarities. You know, I have had these lifelong mystery illnesses for over 30 years that I've been to every kind of healer, doctor out there. Of course, conventional couldn't help me, but I tried everything, and it was really hard because everything that I would try would not work, and like I would have like these parasitic infections that it would not show what kind of parasitic infection it was. So doctors have no idea. They just know it's a parasite. And, it showed that it wasn't viral, wasn't bacterial. So we knew it was parasitic, but we didn't know what kind of parasite. Also, a lot of my illnesses started, after I had a round, which is, I know, a triggering thing that I'm going to say, but it's my truth, is I had a round of vaccines that I had to get whenever I was 15 years old in order to go live in Tokyo, Japan with some family. And I had this weird reaction right after getting the vaccinations. It went up from my wrist to my elbow. It was about that wide, and it was a red, it looked like a squiggly worm. It looked like just a worm, like a long snake. And my skin was red in the shape of a snake on my arm. And of course, my family kind of freaked out. We called the doctors because we lived out in the country, worked nearby. And they didn't tell me to come back in, nothing. They dismissed it. And then I had a lot of illnesses that started, after that. And so for me, I've tried everything to heal these parasites that have given me arthritic symptoms in my hands where I can't bend my fingers sometimes. And then if I eat, I have all these food intolerances. And when I eat something, my stomach will blow up like I'm pregnant. So I'm very limited on the foods that I can eat. And it's just been a very hard thing because I have a lot of suppressed trauma from abuse as a child that I have actually healed layer by layer through plant medicines. And so my final piece of my healing formula is the physical stuff. And that's where I've attracted Kambo. And we actually have scheduled to go do Kambo at the end of this month. And I was really scared because my ayahuasca with my 5-MeO, I know it's not a psychedelic, but that experience was very scary for me. So whenever you started talking to me, it literally was like, no, you're doing this. You're doing this. If you can handle 5-MeO and survive it, you can do this.
So you've done Bufo?
I'm sorry.
What's that?
The toad. When you say 5-MeO, you've done Bufo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I've not done Bufo. I've done ayahuasca, but I think if you've done Bufo, you'll be able to handle Kambo.
Well, I hope it's nothing like that experience because I don't want to experience that again. But you know what? I got to say, it was very healing for me. It was not fun, but it was very healing.
Yes, Kambo is also not fun.
Yeah.
So I see people talking about it online and saying, "Oh, there's other ways to get high," and it's like you don't get high on Kambo, and it's not a fun experience, and I don't think you can get addicted to Kambo either, because no matter how many times you do it, I think I've done it 14 or 15 times now. Wow. It never ever gets easier. You know what to expect, but it never gets easier. And every single time it's different.
Wow.
So
we
are
would
you scared
love
of physical
pain?
Yeah, I want to be a
yes. So it's interesting to hear you talk about the vaccine and then how all your symptoms started, because I had to work on a cruise ship in the States. I worked for Carnival, and it sailed out of Galveston in Texas. And so before I went on the cruise ship, I had to get all these vaccines as well. And I never related it to vaccines, but now that you mention it, it was after the vaccines that like my skin started breaking out. And then maybe a few years later, after I moved to Hong Kong, I couldn't have dairy or egg anymore. So I would get, all this like bloating, but lasting for days, where I looked pregnant, really painful, really, really bad smelly farts. And it was just like, okay, I can't do dairy anymore. Yeah, I know exactly how you feel. So I just stopped dairy, stopped having eggs. I did a home test, and it came out that, I was allergic to cow's milk, not allergic, but intolerant to cow's milk, egg, almonds, and maybe a couple of other things. And then gradually, my skin started getting worse and worse. It would be up and down. And I tried everything because, of course you try all the physical stuff, all the creams, getting facials, trying everything under the sun, doing the natural stuff as well. And nothing worked. And then I think about 6 years ago, I was back home in Australia. I was back there for 3 months. And that was the worst period my skin went through. And it was also quite a stressful period in my life as well, because I was going through a breakup. And that's why I was back home in Melbourne. And it was just, my skin was so sore everywhere and like just very red. And I happened to get online and I saw this ad for a naturopath who's also a beauty therapist, and she works holistically. So I ended up going to her. She was really good. And in Australia, they take a much more gentle approach. So that's when she recommended doing gut testing, which I hadn't heard of before, because at the normal doctor, at a normal GP, you can get tested through your blood. So I got my hormones tested at the GP. I got blood work done, and the doctors say, yeah, everything is normal. We're going to put you on antibiotics again for your skin. And I had already been on antibiotics, like maybe 3 rounds of 6 months of antibiotics. And that was because, and I knew what it was doing to my gut, but I was desperate. I had tried absolutely everything. Yeah. So anyway, got this testing done, came back. I had, I think, 2 parasites and candida. And apparently one of those parasites are quite difficult to kill. And so she put me on a 9-month protocol. So it was 9 months because 3 months of that was preparing my gut so that it would be ready to go through this process. Because when you kill parasites, a lot of toxins come out. Yep. And, toxins, that can affect your brain as well. It can come up as brain fog. Your symptoms might get worse. So 3 months of it was preparing the gut. And then 6 months of it was a lot of herbs and supplements and rotating those herbs and supplements. Because also when you kill parasites, they know. So their spores actually go dormant. And then you think, oh, they're gone. But actually they're still there. So that's why you need to rotate it. And then they're not able to go dormant. And then you're able to kill them. Wow. So after this long period of so many herbs and supplements and, very strict diet, no sugar, so not even fruit, no gluten. Gluten is a big one because it's very inflammatory for your gut. And then, of course, no dairy for me because I can't have dairy anyway. And then, so the parasites were gone, but the candida was still around. And my candida was coming up as thrush. And it was quite chronic. So it was like, always, just the symptoms were always there, and to the point where the naturopath just said, you're going to have to take pharmaceuticals. It's very strong, it's very bad for your liver, but we're going to try it. So you just have to take it at night, just 1 dose, and then it should be gone. It didn't go away. So I think maybe 3 weeks, 3 weeks later, said, all right, we're going to do this again. You're going to take 1 dose in the evening. 2 days later, you're going to take another dose. Another 2 days later, you're going to take another dose. We're really going to blast it this time. And she kind of said, this it's not the best thing for your liver, but we'll deal with your liver after we get rid of all of this, because we've been doing the protocol for so long already. That also didn't help. And it was like, okay. And, I don't know what it's like in the States, but naturopathy is not covered under private health insurance. It is a little bit in, it is a little bit in Australia.
Anything
Yeah.
holistic like that, you paying out of pocket
Yeah,
for
and
that stuff.
listening to you, I'm like, oh my gosh, like my journey is
It's
so similar.
Crazy
I
how
have
similar this stuff
candida
is.
in like my urine and like I
Spent
mean,
so much on doctors and nothing
girl,
worked.
we're talking 30
Yeah.
years of doing this stuff, so I get it. Oh man.
Yeah, I know how much it costs. I don't know how much money I have paid. Like I haven't actually sat down to calculate it. I don't want to
No,
because
right.
it's like, oh my God. Yeah, so in Australia, a little bit of the consultation is covered, but none of the herbs or supplements are,
Right.
and they're expensive. That's the most expensive part. So we did all of this, still around, and then it was just kind of like, okay, I don't know what else to do. I've done everything that I can. And then we already had another trip planned to Peru. So this was last year. We went to Peru. And I know ayahuasca can help on a physical level as well. So I thought, okay, maybe this will help.
Right.
Because the year before I had tried Kambo once already. So I didn't know about the 3 sessions and how powerful it is in terms of physical healing and also emotional healing as well. So, and after that first session back in 2018, I already knew I loved Kambo. I love to purge. So it was like, oh, I love
Really?
it. Yeah,
I mean,
I
you do
love
feel
it.
amazing after. You do feel
Yes,
great after.
yes, you do feel amazing.
I love it.
I mean, yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
I'm gonna
absolutely.
get to where
Afterwards,
you're
it's
at.
great. Afterwards, it's great. During, it's like, oh, I'm never gonna do this again.
Yes,
And
100%.
yeah, 5 minutes later, you're like, oh, maybe I will try it again. It was the same to ayahuasca. The first retreat that I did, we did 4 ceremonies, and on my last one, I said I'm never doing this again. A year later, went back, did another 5, and then last year
You're
went
a
back, did
warrior.
another 5,
Wow.
and yeah. But ayahuasca is another story. But last year, I had the most healing, done on ayahuasca. So
Oh.
back to Canberra. So we did ayahuasca, and then actually even before we did the ceremonies, I found the same Kambo practitioner to do my Kambo again before the ayahuasca ceremonies. He wasn't available, so his wife actually did it, and massive purge. It was great. And then during ayahuasca, our facilitators actually offered Kambo as well. And then that's when she mentioned doing the 3 in a very short amount of time. And I thought, oh, great. I'm definitely going to do it. And then, so I did one during the week of the ayahuasca retreat. And then I did one after the retreats were over.
Wow. Wow.
And then, yeah, and then pretty much 2 days later, I came back to Hong Kong. You feel like a brand new person, and I've been fine since then.
Wow.
Yeah,
That gave
so
me chills.
it's been over a year now. Don't have thrush. Skin is so much better. I don't take any supplements anymore. I mean, I could, but I just don't want to, and I don't feel like my body needs to. Most of the time I'm vegan. Sometimes I will eat a little bit of fish and seafood, but that's it.
That's all by
And
choice, though. That's by your choice to be vegan,
So let me
right?
ask you though, do you feel
Yes.
like it was the combination of ayahuasca with the Kambo that like just really sealed the deal this time?
Or do you think it was the Kambo with the 3?
Intuitively, I think I would say it's a Kambo and the Kambo alone.
Okay.
But maybe the physical symptoms of the skin and the physical symptoms of the skin, maybe it was something to do with the emotional stuff as well.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because ayahuasca's major on the emotional side and Kambo's more on the
Right.
physical side. So
Well,
yes,
and your
yes,
mother, didn't your mother have arthritis in her hands, and she did Kambo and
yes.
that
So
helped.
straight after I got back, we went on a family holiday to Thailand, and my mum's pretty open. She's 65 years old, but she's pretty open to
that's
stuff like
amazing.
this. And then she was like, "Oh, I'm starting to get pain in my fingers from arthritis." And I was like, "Do you want to try Kambo?" And she's like, "Okay." And then so we're just in a hotel room in Bangkok, and she's like, "All right, let's do it." And then we did it. And after the first session, She's like, oh, I can bend my fingers. I was
Oh,
like, oh wow, that's so cool. And she was the second person that I did Kambo on.
Oops, sorry.
And I was like, oh my God, wow, this is amazing. So we had limited time together because she had to fly back to Australia, I had to fly back to Hong Kong. So she did 3 sessions in 3 days.
So
Which
it's not
I
like the number, the magic number, right? Like, because we're scheduled for 1, we should schedule for 3, right? Is that what you?
I would highly recommend 3 in a short period of time.
Okay.
So let's say 1 week or 2 weeks. But I also always tell people, see how you feel after the first one. But most people will always say, yeah, I'm going to do another one. I'm going to do another 2. Most people say that.
yeah.
Okay.
So I've never even done 3 in 3 days because for me, that's just,
And
it's tough.
you said your
It's
mom did 3 days in a row. And what were you saying with
Yes.
that?
It's just super intense.
Wow.
But we had limited time, and she is a trooper. She is such a warrior, and she did it. And she went back to Melbourne like a new person. So she usually gets hay fever as well in the summer, which is like around December time. And then she said hay fever symptoms diminished a lot.
Wow.
And then about a month
Yeah, I
later,
deal with allergies too. I'm like, my gosh. Wow.
yes, it definitely helps with allergies as well. About a month later, I asked her, oh, how are your fingers? And she's like, oh, the pain is back a little bit, but it's definitely better than before. But I was due to go to Melbourne to see her. So I was in Melbourne in March. We did another 3 and then gone.
And
That's
it
awesome.
stayed away. It hasn't come back.
Yes, literally straight away.
Oh.
So now I spoke to her a couple of weeks ago. I was like, oh, how are your fingers? And she's like, it's gone in all of my fingers except for my little finger. There's a little bit of pain in my little finger, but it's definitely, everything else is gone.
And
So with
it sounds like
yeah,
with
it
a
works.
few more sessions, I'm sure it'll be gone completely. It sounds
Yeah.
like
Yes. So with certain conditions, something like arthritis, it does take a few more sessions. And I think, like with my mum, we're definitely getting there. I mean, I just can't get to Melbourne now. She can't get to me now. So that's why we haven't been able to do it. But I'm sure, like, with another 3, she will be fine.
Sounds like we got to
do
do
you
3.
know how much help this gives me and anyone out there that's listening? Like, this is amazing.
Really
Now, to allow people to like know what to expect. So it's purging. You're purging, right? You're purging.
Yeah, could you take
How
us through
long
a
is
ceremony?
Is it like 20 minutes? Is it 40 minutes? Is it an hour? Like, is there any time range that you can give us?
Yeah. So Kambo will last anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes. So the physical symptoms of Kambo. So every ceremony is different and every practitioner does it a little bit differently. So if you want to do research on it, I would recommend researching the benefits of it and instead of the ceremony.
Right.
So research the benefits of Kambo rather than the ceremony.
Good,
Because the traditional Matsis way, the Matsis tribe, who are the traditional users of Kambo, they will also mix Kambo with saliva, which is much, much, much stronger. And you don't need more than 3 dots of Kambo.
Okay.
There are a lot of people who mix it with water, which dilutes it, and you will see people who have like 9 dots, 10 dots. And that is when it's mixed with water. So saliva actually activates the Kambo as well, which is why it's so much stronger. So I've never done it with water. For me, I only mix it with saliva. So the person's own saliva, whoever's doing it, we mix it with their saliva. Now, so basically the process before it's done, you need to drink 2 liters of water on an empty stomach. So you need to fast for 8 hours and then 2 liters of water on an empty stomach. And we try to do this within 10 minutes so that the water is inside the stomach. After that's done, we burn the skin with a vine called tamishi. And then the top layer of the skin is peeled away. And it's basically like a blister. It's only the top layer, there's no blood. And then we mix the Kambo with saliva, and then we put it on. Within 10 seconds, you feel it in your body. So you'll feel this scanning sensation. Yeah, it's super fast. It goes into your lymphatic system straight
I'm
away.
so intrigued.
Yeah, you feel it scanning your body. You'll start to feel maybe pressure going up to your head. You'll start to feel heat. Um, your heart will start to beat really fast. Sometimes you might start to feel your face swelling up.
Oh my
And
God.
then depending on the person, for me, the purging comes really quickly. So probably within 2 minutes, I will start purging. And it's not non-stop. You'll get breaks in between. And sometimes you will purge from both ends. So
Oh,
when,
wow.
yeah,
I didn't know that
yeah,
part. Ah.
yes. So that's why you need to have your bucket, your best friend, and you need a toilet around as well.
Oh my
Because,
God. Like
yeah.
you can control it, or like
So,
literally like, oh,
no,
okay,
you
I
know,
gotta go. Or it's like, oh
yeah,
shit,
you,
it just happened.
no, you'll know when you need to go. So just be
Okay.
near a toilet.
Okay.
And you'll be able to get up to go to the toilet.
Right.
Whoever's looking after you, they'll be helping you up to get to the toilet. Just take your bucket with you. Don't lock the door. So for some people, they can faint as well. So my husband, the first 2 times he did Canberra, he fainted. But people don't know when they faint, and it's very you bring yeah. So to bring them back, all you have to do is pour water on their head, and then it'll come back, and then they'll be like, "Oh, why am I all wet?" It's like, "Oh, you fainted," and they'll
Huh.
be like, "Oh no, I didn't."
Wow.
They have no idea. Yeah. So I have heard of one person who fainted. They were probably out for maybe 5 to 7 seconds, came back, and they said they experienced a whole other lifetime in that time they were out.
Wow.
Yeah. So Kambo is not psychoactive, but the only way I can describe it is it's magical.
Wow.
Ooh, I
I'm
like that
yeah,
word.
yes, I'm talking about the physical stuff, the physical healing that you can do,
Yeah.
but the emotional healing that I've seen on people who do Kambo is absolutely amazing as well.
Oh,
See, I need both. This is great.
Yes, it
Sure.
will definitely work on both. And some people might only get the physical, some people will get only the emotional, and some people get both. But yeah, it definitely works on a very deep emotional level as well. It will unblock a lot. And I think that's why it's so powerful working on an emotional level as well.
Wow.
oh,
There's something about
Yeah.
toads and frogs.
I know it. I know it. We got to do 3. We got to move to 3.
Yeah, we're gonna
We're
have
scheduled.
To, dang it.
We're scheduled at the end of this month with
Ah.
someone. They mentioned something why they didn't want to do 3, but I'm
It was
super
something about
intrigued
the
to do
moon.
3
It was
now.
about the moon cycles. We're gonna have to move our date because they do it. They do the
Oh,
days according to the moon cycle. So we'll have to
I
push
just
it
want.
back.
If we're doing this, I want to do 3 now. Like I'm
Yeah, if I'm
convinced.
gonna be that uncomfortable, I want it to work. So
Right.
I'm not gonna half-ass.
I definitely want to do 3
anything.
now.
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, girl, we're gonna have to talk after we have our experience.
Oh, I can't wait to hear about your experience.
So do
Yeah.
you are you facilitate it now? Well, take us to where you are now.
Yes. So never in my life I thought I would be facilitating Canberra. So during during the ayahuasca retreat, the facilitator, Cece, who ended up, she just said to me, Crystal, do you want to learn it so you can do it on yourself and you can do it on Dale? I was like, yeah, I'd love to. And so she taught me before my last ceremony. She taught me one night, and she taught a few of us, and she taught me the process, the contraindications, how to apply it, what to look for. And I was like, yay, I can't wait. I can, get back to Hong Kong, do it on myself. Um, and then on my last night of ayahuasca, the last ceremony, before I did it, I asked Mother Aya, I said that night, please show me my purpose in life. What am I meant to be doing? And she showed me a scene of me helping people with Cambo.
Wow.
Like I get emotional when I talk about it.
That's amazing that that's like your
Ah,
purpose. That's amazing. Because
beautiful.
that's what
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I never thought I would learn it. I never thought I would be helping people with it. But
I wish we could do it with you.
I know. I'm like, why are you so far away? I'm like so drawn to you. You're
one day,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
when borders open, definitely I would, yeah. And so after that night, it was just you know, it was just so clear, like the confidence in myself, the confidence in the medicine, and it was just amazing. And since I've been back in Hong Kong, I've like done it on friends in Thailand. I've probably done it for about, I've lost count of how many people I've worked with in Hong Kong, maybe 30 to 40 people, and multiple sessions as well. And the changes I get to see in people, it's just like, it's so fulfilling for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like to see that I can help people
purpose.
with it, and to see how powerful the medicine is. Like, it's just, I can't put it into words, you know. I'm just so grateful that
Because everyone deserves their healing. Everyone deserves to be healed. They deserve their
Exactly.
healing. And you are literally
Exactly.
now a vessel for healing for people. Like, it's
Exactly.
amazing.
Yeah, exactly a vessel, you know. I'm not healing anyone, but I'm just so grateful that I can use the power of Kambo to help people heal.
Yes.
Yeah, I love
That is so cool.
That's
Oh my
amazing.
gosh, I love it.
So how do people
Yeah.
find you that want to work with you?
So it's all by word of mouth. Like, I don't advertise it. I mean, the reason why is because I also want to protect myself. I know Kambo is legal, but at the same time, you know, like, I feel like people who are meant to work with it will work with it.
Yeah.
So I just let people come to me. I don't, you know, tell people you need to do Kambo. I mean,
Right.
sometimes I will suggest it to people,
Right.
and you know, it's their choice. I send them all the info that they need, and then, you know, if they want to do it, they do it.
The medicine will call to them.
Right.
Definitely. Oh, another thing, funny you mentioned that. So, one of the girls I worked with, she did 7 sessions, and for her,
What?
it was, yeah, 7. But over like 2 months, I've had a couple of people who've done that. But for her, it was like more working on an emotional level. And when she does it, it's almost like watching an exorcism. She will scream, she will cry, and almost something takes over. And she says she's working on something from her past life. And the stuff she says, all I can say is it's like an exorcism. And sometimes she'll be like moving around like this. And, you know, I let her have her experience. But, you know, like one time she was like banging her back on the wall as well. So, you know, when it's gets to that, then I need to stop it.
So what do you do when that happens?
Sorry?
What do you do when you witness someone going through like an exorcism? What looks like an exorcism?
So I let them have the experience, but it's quite intuitive. So if I feel like, okay, it's a bit much now, you know, you might hurt yourself, then I will stop that. So I'll just put my hand on there. I'll pour water on them, because pouring water on the head also grounds you as well. So after Kambo, it's really important to have a shower. But if you're not up for having a shower, then pouring some water on your head, it's very, very grounding. So anyway, she wrote a review about me, and it was a very heartfelt review. And I shared it with my teacher, and I didn't know this before, but she said to me, Crystal, when I saw you, every time I saw you, I would see you working with Kambo, and I had never felt the urge to teach someone as much as I had with you. And I had never known this. I just thought she asked to teach me because she saw how much I enjoyed it. And she actually said, you know, I see you connecting with it a lot, so I would like to teach you if you want to learn it. But I never knew to that extent. So every time she saw me, she would see me like working with the medicine. But I never knew that until after I sent her the review. I was like, oh wow.
That's amazing. You found your
Yeah.
calling in your medicine, man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that has
Yeah.
me nervous.
That's
My 5-MeO experience was like an exorcism. So I'm like, oh no. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Those damn frogs, they will pull that shit out of you. So
I know, right? They're so powerful. I don't know what it is about frogs, but they're so powerful. I'll show you this painting which I got recently.
Yeah.
I don't know.
oh
So-
wow. That is so cool. Love it.
Sent over from Peru, And as soon as I saw it, I just saw the energy in it, the power of it, such a mama and Kambo and just working their magic.
That is beautiful.
Love it. Love
Well,
it.
these medicines and these modalities are the medicines of the new earth. I mean, this is everything.
Love it.
These are the medicines of the present and future. You know, everything old is dying off, the new is coming. And Kambo, from what we hear, is like on the forefront of
Well,
the
it's like
huge
most
physical part of that.
powerful-
Oh, yeah. I think so.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I think it's the most powerful antioxidant, antibiotic, antifungal, antiviral, like
Yeah.
anti-everything, anti-parasitic, like
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Well, we'll be doing it soon. So.
I know. We'll definitely make sure we do 3.
Yeah.
Well,
Now, how many
It's
times
just,
does it matter how many times in a year you do it? Like, if can I do it 3 and then 6 months later do another 3 or?
no, I don't think it matters. I know people who do it every week. So there's the first guy who did it on me in Peru. His nickname is Cambo Rambo because he actually learned with the Matsis how to call on Cambo, and he will do it with fresh Cambo, which is super super strong. But this guy has no fear. And actually, that's another thing. Cambo will help you with fear as well. Like after Cambo, like you just don't feel fear. And so he takes people on jungle tours, and he will literally just jump into the river and start wrestling with a caiman.
whoa.
And he will go into the jungle. He will find massive anacondas, and he will just put them around his neck like it's
What?
nothing. Yeah, this
Mhm.
guy Kambo Rapper, he is amazing. He's like the ultimate jungle boy, jungle man. He even looks like a jungle boy. He's got like long curly hair.
That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah.
Oh, man.
So he does it every week, sometimes, not all the time. I've done it. So for me, I try to do it once a month. It's for maintenance.
Yeah.
Some people do the 3, never do it again. Some people do 1, never do it again. And just, intuitively, I think you will know. I think for me, I do it this every month because it's quite stressful in Hong Kong. And also, the water is not the cleanest, the food is not the cleanest, and parasites are very common in Hong Kong. I mean, I would say 95% of the population have parasites. Yeah, they just don't know it. If you don't test for it, you're never gonna know.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
It's in the water, in the food we eat. It's very, very common.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So this is why I do it because I don't want to get back to where I was before with all these symptoms.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I currently run 4 businesses, so I'm super busy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's just nonstop. I'm working all the time, but I have that energy to do it, and I also think this has something to do with Kambo as well.
That's
Girl,
beautiful.
you've inspired me.
That's
you
awesome.
have inspired me.
And thank you so much for sharing your
100%.
story.
Yeah.
Well, look, at the end here is usually where we make your plug, but I know it's basically word of mouth. But you run other 4 businesses. Is there any other business or something, any project you're working on that you'd like to mention that you'd like us to introduce to our community?
So I'm actually a massage therapist as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's what I've been doing for 17 years. That's always been my main thing. And my husband and I, we have a deep love for Peru. So we actually have a business called Made in Peru, where we sell goods from Peru. So we sell Palo Santo, we sell alpaca products. And recently, we just, how can we say? We split the business, so all our alpaca products are under another brand, which is called Aya.
Oh, that's awesome.
Amazing.
So our alpaca business is under Aya Home. So if you want to have a look online, it's ayahome.com.co, and our Made in Peru business is under madeinperuhk.com. If you want to have a look at them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And for anyone listening, when we publish this, we're going to put both links directly under this. So we're going to put it in the at the bottom of the description. And when we post it, just check out the links at the bottom. We're going to post both the links for you. So send us those links so
Yeah,
our
I would
people
love
can
to buy
access.
something from you.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Send it to us for
Yeah.
sure. That's
You
awesome.
had me at Palo Santo.
You
so
did. You did.
Who doesn't need that?
We have very big pieces of Palo Santo, like big like this, like decorative
Oh,
pieces.
that's awesome.
Wow.
Awesome. Well, thank you again so much for your
Wait,
time.
we got one last question.
Oh, yes. We asked.
How could you forget?
So every time we have someone on, we ask them one last question before they leave. If you could leave the world with one message, what would that be?
Don't take life so seriously.
Oh, I love that.
The reality, it's just a game. Just
I
enjoy it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's what we need right now too. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Crystal. We appreciate it. Thank you for the work you're doing. The collective appreciates it. This is what we need right now. So you are doing your purpose. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you.
we will stay in touch.
Thank you.
Please
Yeah,
shoot us over those links.
Yes, send
Yes.
over those links.
I will. I can't wait to hear about your experience at Kambo as well. I'm so
Yes,
excited.
girl, you're gonna be the first person I follow up with.
Thank you so much
Yay.
for all you're doing, Crystal. Have a wonderful,
Yay.
wonderful night
Yeah.
or day.
Thank
Day.
you so
Day.
much.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.